Hi everyone, welcome back to our monthly mistake videos. My name is Stephanie Yin. In this video, I'm going to talk about the mistakes that I find in July. And the first one I'm going to talk about is using a round ladder technique in your games. So here is the example. So this is the game that I found in at the Go Congress this year. And then now it's White's turn. And in this game, White just cut it here, and Black played Atari here. So now we can see there's a ladder in this corner. But when you look at the situation on the upper right corner, you will see right now the ladder actually is not working for White because Black has two stones over here. So what White did in this game is White played ladder breaker here, and which is also a sente. What White wants to do is White has a very solid group on the bottom, and White really wants to cut the 4 stones off so that White can start attacking this group. And at the same time, after White is able to escape here, and then Black still need to move to capture the stone. And now White gets a sente to attack the bottom group. So this is what White wants. So that's why in the actual game White played this move. And that's the absolute sente because Black doesn't want to see this happen. And if White is able to cut these 2 stones off, now you can see the corner is pretty much dead. So in the actual game, Black responded here. And White was very happy because after that exchange, and White now is able to win the ladder, because if you read the ladder until here, and then White will have the stone here, and Black Ataris. So the thing, okay, the ladder will look like this. And then White is eventually be able to connect because this stone here. However, after White played this move, and what White didn't expect and didn't see is Black actually have a squeeze technique in this corner, which is here. That's also a net. But when you look at this situation, White probably thought, okay, I can actually break through from here by Ataring this stone. But what White didn't see is now Black is going to sacrifice the stone instead of capture the stone on the left, and then that White go out. So now when Black cap on the top, and White needs to capture the stone, and then Black is going to Atari on the back. So now White only has 1 liberty left, so White has to connect. And now when you look at this situation, after Black squeezed White into a dumpling shape and the entire group, White only has 2 liberties left, and now it's still Black's turn, and Black can start another ladder from the other direction. And now you can see there's no ladder breaker on the left. So this is what happened in the actual game. Black played the net, and White thought White was able to break out, but actually the ladder works from the other direction. So this is a very good example in your games. So you should always make sure that's really a ladder before you play a ladder breaker. So now let's look at the second mistake. The second mistake by 30 to 20 Kyu player is you're running out in an indirect ladder. Here is the example. Black just played a net here because obviously the ladder now it doesn't work. So that's why Black didn't start Atari here. Because after White played a couple moves, and now when White turns here, it's not actually a ladder, instead it's an Atari move. So in this situation, Black played a net here, which is the indirect ladder. And in the actual game, White escaped here. And by looking at the situation, running out here works because now I have 3 liberties, and obviously it's not going to be a ladder. But when White, after White runs here, and when Black blocked on the bottom, and then Black is able to keep chasing the entire group by turning on the bottom and keep doing the indirect ladder. And now you can see black has 3 liberties on the bottom and white only has 2 liberties. That's a very common technique when you're trying to capture your opponent's stones. So the difference between a ladder and an indirect ladder is when you're using a ladder, you always keep 1 liberty left with your opponent's stones. But the indirect ladder is you leave 1 liberty on the top and you can always be 1 liberty ahead. But still, you can leave so many liberties on the top. You can only leave 1 liberty on the top so that you can win the capture race. So now I'm going to talk about the mistakes by 19 to 10 Kyu players. The first mistake is a wrong connecting move on the first line. Here is the example. So I set up 2 questions on the board, and they look very similar. But when you really see these 2 similar situations in the game, and you have to use the different ways to connect your groups. So let's look at the upper right corner first. So black has 4 stones over here, are almost surrounded by white. And then black has a group in the corner. So now more urgent is how should black play to connect the 4 stones, and with the 3 spaces between. So I see a lot of people play the move right in the middle, which is that move is a wrong move. So when you look at this situation, the first intuition is the 2 knights move. But when you play the 2 knights move, the weakness of knight move is white has attach. And then now black needs to Atari the white stones. So instead of white Atari on the top and let black connect underneath, and now white is able to Atari from the other side. So then black needs to either connect or capture the stone. But after capture the stone, now white is able to break it through. So the knight move, the double knight move is wrong. So when you look at the 3 space situation, the diagonal with a large knight move is the vital point, or either here. It's because when you play 2 stones on the first line, you can only spend 2 moves to create a tiger's mouth. So that means you already automatically create a tiger's mouth on the left. So if white tries to break your large knight move, which won't work at the first line, because you can always capture this stone. Okay, so let's look at the question on the left. So in this question, black has 3 spaces between. But in this question, black has 4 spaces between. So does knight's move work in this situation? But the difference between these 2 examples is, in this question, black doesn't have any stone on the first line. But in the question on the left, black has 1 stone on the first line, which will help. If you don't have the stone on the first line, you can never connect the group in the corner. So let's try the knight's move. So when you play the knight's move, same issue will happen again. So if white attach here, in order to connect, black needs to Atari. But then white can Atari on the back and force black to capture. And then after this exchange move, and white now is able to connect. So the corner group automatically breaks. Okay, so the knight's move, if the knight's move doesn't work, then how can we connect the group in the center, in the corner? Same concept. So when you use the 2 stones on the first line, you can either play a diagonal move to create a tiger's mouth, or you can play the 1 space jump on the first line to create a tiger's mouth. So the correct answer is here, because after you play the 1 space jump, in this area is already tiger's mouth. So if white tries to break your large knight's move, which won't work because you can always Atari and then capture. So the key to connect your groups when you try to play on the first line is you should always create a tiger's mouth first and create a large knight's move or a small knight's move. Because when you have a tiger's mouth, you don't have to worry about the cutting point anymore. So now let's look at the second mistake. The second mistake is playing a sliding move in a wrong situation. Here is the example. So I set up the two separate questions, one on the right side and one on the left side. So let's look at the question on the right first. So in the actual game, white played a slide on the bottom. So a lot of people, I see a lot of people play a sliding move like this, which is not very good move in this situation, because now when you look at the upper right corner, black is expanding the territory on the side plus in the center. So the territory or potential in the center is actually bigger than the side. So if you just simply slide, and yes, you destroyed some territory on the side, but at the same time you're helping black to get stronger. So later on it's harder for you to invade in the center. So in this situation, white should invade directly. And also your corner is already strong, so you don't need to worry about black is going to break through. So after you invade, you only need to worry about the fight over here between these two stones. So when is a sliding move good? So here is the example. So black invaded here and tried to make a life in white's territory. And now the sliding on the side is a good move because you're almost getting close, and now it's time to get more eye space. So after you play the slide move here, at the same time you destroy the territory on the bottom as well. Not only you get some eye space, and also you destroy the territory. So the sliding move, I would say most of the time the sliding move is good when you try to make your group alive or you try to settle your group. If you want to destroy your opponent's territory, you should always think about the invade first. Okay, so now let's take a look at mistakes by 9-1 Kyu players. The first mistake by 9-1 Kyu player is choosing the wrong vital point in the fight. So here is the example. So when we look at the whole board situation now, we will notice that black and white are fighting on the bottom. So these two groups. So in this situation, black actually have two vital points, which is one space jump here to protect your side and prevent white to play the invasion move here, or you can play on the top and try to surround the two stones. So which vital point is better, and where is the correct direction to attack white? So the correct answer is the cap on the top. So when we play the one space jump here, we protect the invasion move on the side. But when you look at the whole board situation, black has more potentials and influence on the top. So when we cap here, we're trying to enclose these two stones. And if white jumps out, or the two space jump, and now we can still come back to fix the invasion move on the bottom. So cap on the top is the correct direction to attack the white group here. And if we play the one space jump, we're kind of inviting white into our main territory and potentials. So that's the correct answer to attack the two stones. So now let's look at the second mistake. The second mistake is about enclosing. So here is the example. So now it's black's turn, and black took the potentials and influence on the left side, and black has the bottom corner and the corner on the upper side. And white has the corner and two corners on the left side and some territory on the right side. So now it's black's turn. And when you look at the whole board situation like this, and most of the black stones are on the high moves, that means black wants to focus on the center and try to enclose white. So this group is pretty solid and strong, so there's no way for black to enclose this group anymore. So the only way to expand the territory and the potential in the center is to enclose this corner, because white only has 3 stones. So where is the correct way to enclose? In the actual game, black played a nice move, and it looks a pretty good move, because when you play the shoulder head, and then the white needs to extend on the bottom, and then you can keep pressuring white, and eventually white still have to play a move to jump out. Now you can see you get a lot of potentials in the center, but you actually have a better move. So where is the better move to enclose this corner? So when we look at this shape, the knight's move here, and the two stones in the corner, and the liberty of these two stones are very intense. It doesn't have a lot liberties. So the vital point in this corner to this shape is attachment move. So after you attach, and then you can cut on the top. It looks like you're sacrificing a stone. You're letting white eat this stone on purpose. And then white has to Atari. And then you may have a question, why not descending on the second line? If white goes here, now you have a Tasuji, which is here, the knight's diagonal move. And then white has to reduce black's liberty. And of course, you're not going to connect here because you're going to be one liberty short. You only have two liberties, and then white has 3. So then after white Atari's here, and you can Atari in the corner and squeeze white. And now you can see all the territory in the corner is gone. So that's why white cannot descend. Instead, white has to Atari. And then after you sacrifice this stone, so then you can get a sente from the outside. And then eventually you can connect on the top. So now you not only you get some territory potential in the center, but also you enclosed on the side. So this variation is much better than you play the shoulder head on the top and let white jump on the side. Okay, so you will see a lot of shapes look like this, very similar shape. So you should always remember the similar shape like this. If you attach and cut, if your opponent only have 3 liberties in the corner, that means white has to Atari. The descending doesn't work. Okay, so now let's look at the mistakes by 1 to 4 dan players. There are multiple mistakes made by 1 to 4 dan players this month about Ko. So I'm going to use one example to explain them. So this is the whole board situation question. Black has 2 corners, which are already alive, and white has 2 sides territory and 1 corner on the upper right side, and then black has its territory on the top. So now let's focus on the corner on the upper left corner over here. So now it's black's turn, and in the actual game, black started this move by throwing here, and then white captures. So a lot of players have a question about Ko, how to calculate the value of Ko, and how to calculate the value of a Ko threat. So here is the very good example. So after white captures, so let's calculate how much value does this Ko have. So now is black's turn to find a Ko threat. Let's assume black played a Ko threat over here, and then white captured the Ko and the Ko by capturing the stone, and black now is able to kill the corner over here. So after white captures the stone here, everything here, black stones are dead. So white captured 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stones. That's 10 points, and plus these 2 points over here, that's 12 points. So after white and the Ko, white get 12 points in total. Okay, and let's assume if white respond this Ko over here and make the group alive in the corner, and then it's black's turn to take the Ko back. And then how do we calculate the value of the Ko in black's hand? Because black needs to have another stone to end the Ko here. So if black capture here, black capture 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stones. That's 16 points plus the 2 points in the corner and 1 point over here. So black has 19 points, but since black used 2 stones to end the Ko, so we have to divide by 2 because black used 2 moves. So 19 divided by 2, that's around the 10 points, and plus the points that a white has, which is 12 points. So in total, the value of this Ko is 12 plus 10, that's 22 points. All right, so now let's look at the question on the upper right corner. Next question is, should white respond the Ko? Saving this group is bigger than ending the Ko here, or we should respond the Ko threat here. Okay, so let's assume if white respond to ko, and now white is alive, and white has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points in the corner by leaving there. So if white doesn't respond this ko threat, and then if black goes here, black could kill the corner, and then these stones are dead. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 2. That's 14 points. And plus 6 points here, that's a 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So kill this corner. By killing this corner, black gets 24 points. And plus, if white lives in the corner, white gets 6 points. So the total value of the ko threat here is 26 points. That's 20. Okay, so let me calculate it again. So white has 6 points in order to live there. And if black kills the corner, black get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 14, 20, 24. 24 plus 6, that's 30 points. So by leaving here or killing this group, the value of this ko threat is 30 points. But the value of this ko is only 22 points. So after we calculate the both values between ko and the ko threat, of course we know 30 points is much bigger than 22. So in that case, white definitely should respond to ko. And then black capture, and now we have to help white to find a ko threat, which is over here, because if white play the 2 moves here, and then the corner is dead. But now the calculation will change a little bit, because after black captured the stone here, black only need 1 move to end the ko. But white needs to play 2 moves to end the ko. So the calculation will be slightly different. Okay, so now let's start calculating how much value does the ko have right now. So if black capture, and black still have 19 points by using 1 stone. So that's a 19 point for black. So if white capture the ko back, and white still need another stone to end the ko. So by using two stones here, white gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 12 points. But since white used the 2 moves in this case, so we have to divide by 2. Then white only has 6 points by ending the ko, and plus the 19 points that black has over here if black wins the ko. So 19 plus 6, that's 25. So in order to end the ko right now for black, that's only 25 points. So now let's look at if white goes here, whether responding the ko here is bigger or ending the ko is bigger. So if black connect here, the corner will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points by leaving here. So if black didn't respond to ko, and the white Atari's here, and now entire corner is dead. So white killed the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 12 points, and plus 6 points. That's 18, 20, 22, 23, 24. So white has a 24 by killing this group, plus the 6 points that black has if black lives. So in total, that's 30 points value by responding the ko threat here. So ending the ko is only 26 points. So responding the ko threat is 30 points. So of course, after the calculation, of course, we know black should respond the ko threat here. So that's the way you should calculate the ko and the ko threat. So I hope it will help you. So every time when you have a ko fight, you should always try to calculate how much value does the ko has and the ko threat has. Okay, so that's the mistake by 1 to 4 dan players. And if you have any more questions, you can go to our website or follow us on Twitter and Facebook page. My name is Stephanie Yin. I will see you next time.